My mother lay in the hospital fighting to stay alive. My husband never came to see her. His family stayed away too. Then I got his text message. Give me $15,000 for my brother's business and my mother's spa trip. He thought I would beg. I laughed, sent him $20, then locked everything he owned. Hello friends, please tell me in the comments what country you are watching from. Remember to like and subscribe so this channel named JAMAL'S Stories can grow bigger and share more exciting stories with you. The hospital smelled like medicine and sadness. The lights were too bright and too white. Maya sat on a hard plastic bench outside a big metal door. On the door were the letters ICU painted in red. She had a small blanket wrapped around her shoulders because the air was so cold. She held a paper cup with coffee that had gone cold hours ago. Maya had been sitting there for 14 hours without moving much. Her eyes were red and puffy from crying. Inside that room behind the metal door, her mother was very sick. Mama Rose had gotten a terrible sickness in her heart that came without warning. It happened so fast that morning. Maya closed her tired eyes and tried not to think about the scary machines and tubes connected to her mother's body. But the picture kept coming back into her head. She remembered finding her mother on the bathroom floor that morning, holding her chest and breathing like she couldn't get enough air. Maya was the only person home. She screamed and called for the ambulance. Her hands shook so badly she could barely push the buttons on her phone. She rode in the ambulance holding her mother's hand. She filled out all the hospital papers by herself. She listened to the doctor explain how sick her mother was. She did everything alone. She took a long, shaky breath and swallowed hard. But Maya wasn't really alone in the world. She had Marcus. Marcus was her husband. She also had his mother and his whole family. So where were they now? Maya looked at her phone. The screen was dark and quiet. Since her mother went into the ICU, Maya had called Marcus many times. The first time Marcus answered but sounded angry. What do you want, Maya? I'm doing something important. I'm at the car shop with Derek planning his new business. Maya's voice shook when she tried to explain. Marcus, it's my mama. Mama Rose had a heart attack. She's in the ICU. It's really bad. Marcus made an annoyed sound through the phone. Yeah, okay. You deal with it. I can't leave Derek right now. This business plan is super important. You know how important this is for our future. Maya felt her heart sink down into her stomach like a heavy rock. But Marcus, Mama might die. I need you here with me. Marcus sounded tired and frustrated. Stop being so dramatic, Maya. Your mother will be fine. The hospital knows what they're doing. Look, I have to go now. I'll talk to you later. Then the phone went silent. Marcus had hung up on her. Maya didn't give up. She tried calling again 1 hour later. Nobody answered. She sent text messages explaining how serious everything was. Marcus read the messages but never wrote back. Maya got desperate. She decided to call Miss Gloria, Marcus's mother. Maya hoped that because Miss Gloria was a mother too, she would understand and tell Marcus to come help. But Miss Gloria's response made Maya feel even worse. Maya, her voice was sharp and mean. You are being such a baby. We are very stressed here helping Derek with important business papers and you call us with this silly news. Don't make our day worse. Marcus is helping his brother. As a sister-in-law you should help too. Stop acting spoiled. Handle your mother by yourself. Then Miss Gloria ended the call suddenly. Maya stared at her dark phone screen. Spoiled. They called her spoiled for wanting her husband when her mother was dying. Maya was the wife who paid for everything. Her job as an accountant at a big company paid much more money than Marcus ever made. The apartment they lived in was bought with Maya's money. The nice car that Marcus and Miss Gloria drove around was paid for by Maya every month. Maya sent thousands of dollars to Miss Gloria's bank account every month for things Miss Gloria said she needed. Maya was even paying for all of Derek's new business. All this time Maya stayed quiet about the money. She thought being a good wife meant giving everything. She believed her money would make them love her and accept her. She was completely wrong. Night came and the hospital got quieter. Maya sat alone on that cold bench. Just a few other families were there, sleeping in chairs down the hall. Maya felt so cold, not from the air conditioning but from feeling so alone. It went all the way into her bones. She felt stupid. Years of saving money just so her husband's family could waste it all. And now when she needed them most, they left her completely alone. The hurt in her chest felt as bad as the pain her mother must be feeling. Maya believed in God and tried to be patient. She held back her anger and tried to pray. She tried to forgive them. But her heart hurt too much. She leaned her head against the cold wall. She was so tired her whole body ached. She looked at the metal ICU door again and prayed quietly for her mother to be strong and live. Suddenly her phone buzzed in her hand. It wasn't a phone call. Maya's heart jumped, hoping it was Marcus saying he was coming. She lifted her phone up. The screen showed a message from her bank app. The notification said, "Automatic transfer complete. $2,000 sent to account named Miss Gloria." It was the monthly money Maya automatically sent. The money went out on the first day of every month no matter what was happening. Maya stared at those numbers. That money could have helped pay for her mother's medicine if needed. That money just went to a woman who hours before told her to stop being spoiled. Something inside Maya broke. Her patience, which seemed endless before, had finally run out completely. She didn't cry anymore. Her eyes that burned before now felt ice cold. She swiped the bank notification away and stared at the ICU door with a blank face. The night was still long, but Maya knew something had ended forever in her heart. 3 days went by in a blur. Maya barely left the hospital at all. She only went home quickly to take a shower and put on clean clothes, then came right back to her mother's side. She slept sitting up in the waiting chair. She woke up every time she heard footsteps. Mama Rose's condition stayed the same. The doctors said she was stable but still very critical. She hadn't woken up yet. The doctor told Maya the next few days would tell them if Mama Rose would live. Maya spent all her time reading from her Bible and praying next to her mother's bed, hoping her voice could reach through to her sleeping mother. During those 3 days, Maya's phone wouldn't stop buzzing with calls and messages. Dozens of missed calls from Marcus, Miss Gloria, and Derek. Hundreds of text messages filled up her phone that Maya didn't read. Maya knew they must be furious because their money hadn't come. Or maybe Marcus was angry because Maya ignored him. Maya didn't care at all anymore. She turned off the ringer and left only the vibration on. Her only focus was her mother getting better. That morning on the 4th day, after helping the nurse give her mother a sponge bath, Maya sat for a moment in the hospital cafeteria. She forced herself to eat a muffin and drink some hot tea. Her body needed food. She couldn't get sick too. That's when her phone vibrated again on the table. This time it was a long text message from Marcus. Maya's heart did a small jump. A tiny foolish part of her hoped Marcus had finally understood. Maybe it was an apology. Maybe he would ask about Mama Rose's condition. With hands that shook from not sleeping enough, Maya opened the message. It wasn't an apology. It wasn't a question about her mother. It was a list of demands. "Maya, where are you? Why won't you answer calls or texts? You're ignoring my mother on purpose, aren't you? Miss Gloria says you're probably mad about what happened before. Whatever. Stop acting like a child. I don't care about your attitude. My mother says send $15,000 to her account right away. Has to be today. We need it for the down payment on Derek's food truck business. The bank needs the money to approve the loan. The rest is for my mother to go to a health spa in California so she doesn't get too stressed helping Derek. She needs to relax." The message went on. "Don't be stingy with the money. This is for our whole family's future. Derek's business matters. Our family reputation is at stake. If this business fails, everyone will laugh at us. And my mother works so hard. She deserves rest. So transfer that $15,000 right now. It needs to be in the account by tomorrow morning. I'm waiting." Maya read the message once, then twice, then 3 times. Her tired brain tried to understand the words. Rest, relax, family, reputation, health spa in California. $15,000. Upstairs in the same building, just a few floors above the cafeteria, her mother was fighting to stay alive. And her husband's family hadn't asked about Mama Rose even one single time. They only cared about money, a business, and a vacation. Suddenly Maya felt something strange happen. A dry laugh came out of her mouth. At first it was quiet, then it got louder. Some people eating in the cafeteria turned to stare at her strangely. A woman laughing alone in a hospital cafeteria. Maya didn't care about them looking. She laughed until tears came out. But they weren't sad tears. They were tears of anger that had reached the very top. Who did they think she was? A machine that gave out money with no feelings. A cow they could milk whenever they wanted. They thought she would obey and transfer that money while crying, too busy with her mother to fight back. Maya's laughing stopped suddenly. Her tired face had turned hard as stone. Her eyes were cold and sharp. Everything became perfectly clear. The fog in her mind disappeared, replaced by a burning determination. For years she had been patient because she thought it was her duty as a wife. Now she realized it had just been stupidity. She picked up her phone. The cracked screen corner looked like her broken marriage. She thought about the $15,000. It was emergency money she kept in a special savings account. Money she had saved over many years for a terrible situation. And this, Maya thought, definitely counted as an emergency. An emergency to save herself. With steady fingers that didn't shake anymore, Maya opened her bank app. She didn't open her savings account. She opened her regular checking account where there wasn't much money left because she had just paid the hospital deposit for her mother. She pressed the transfer button and typed in Marcus's account number. A number she knew by heart. Then she typed the amount. Not $15,000. She typed $20. Her finger stopped for just a moment over the send button. This was it. This was her line she wouldn't cross back over. After pressing this button, there would be no going back. She would no longer be obedient Maya. She would no longer be stupid Maya. She pressed the button hard. Transfer successful. Then she went to the message app, opened Marcus's long demanding message, scrolled to the reply section, and typed a short, clear message. This is so you can buy some food for lunch. Don't text me again. She hit send. 2 blue check marks appeared. Message read. Immediately her phone started ringing violently. Marcus's name appeared on the screen. Maya looked at the incoming call, let it ring and ring until it stopped by itself. Then it rang again. Miss Gloria's name appeared. She ignored it. Then Derek called. She ignored him too. Maya pressed the silence button on the side of her phone. Then she searched for a lawyer's contact. The family lawyer who had helped manage her father's will when he died. She smiled. Cold, calculating smile. A big plan began forming in her mind. Plan to teach them all a lesson. The explosion came fast. Less than 30 seconds after Maya sent the message about buying lunch, her phone screen lit up like fireworks. Incoming call from Marcus. Maya looked at her husband's photo on the screen. A smile that now looked fake and ugly. She let the call ring and ring until it died and became a missed call. 1 minute later, a text came in full of capital letters. Are you making fun of me? Are you insulting me? Maya didn't reply. She was walking back to the ICU waiting area. Her steps were strong and sure. Next message came. Transfer the $15K right now. I'm not joking, Maya. My mother is going to be really mad at you. Then another call, this time from Miss Gloria. Maya let it ring without answering. Then a call from Derek. She ignored that too. Her phone vibrated endlessly in her hand. The vibration felt like angry bees buzzing far away. But strangely it didn't scare Maya. It made her feel stronger. Voicemails started piling up. Maya didn't need to listen to know what they said. She could imagine Miss Gloria's angry voice calling her names. Disloyal wife. Ungrateful. Selfish. All the mean words she used to only say behind Maya's back. She imagined Derek whining, probably blaming Maya if his dream business failed. And Marcus, her husband, probably panicking, stuck between his demanding mother and brother, now realizing his money source was fighting back. Maya sat back down on the hard plastic chair. She opened her photo gallery and looked at a picture of her mother smiling during lunch together 2 months ago. A real smile that looked so different from the fake smiles of Marcus's family. All this time Maya had worked hard, using her faith to remind herself to be patient and kind. She thought patience was good. But she had forgotten something. Faith also teaches that you shouldn't let people hurt you. She had forgotten that kindness misused becomes stupidity. Her phone vibrated again. New message from Marcus. Okay. You're upset about your mom, right? Sorry. Now send the money and I'll come visit your mother. Promise. Promise. A word that sounded so cheap and meaningless. Maya pressed the silence button on her phone again. Not just the ringer. She turned off the vibration completely. She needed quiet to take the next important step. She couldn't be bothered by the whining of these parasites anymore. She searched for a name in her contacts. A name she hadn't called in a long time but always kept for emergencies. Attorney Blake. Mr. Blake was an old friend of her father's. The lawyer who helped manage all the money and property her father left before she married Marcus. Maya took her phone to a quieter corner of the hallway near a window. She took a deep breath, then pressed the call button. Hello, Blake speaking. A deep, gentle voice answered. Good morning, Attorney Blake. It's Maya, she said. Her voice sounded calm and flat and cold. Even she was surprised at how calm she sounded. Maya, how are you, child? You don't usually call this early. I hope everything is okay. There was a fatherly warmth in Mr. Blake's voice. My news is becoming good, sir, but my mother is in the ICU, Maya said honestly. Sorry. I don't have time for small talk. I need your legal help right away. Mr. Blake's tone turned serious immediately. Course, Maya. Tell me exactly what you need. Anything at all. I want you to freeze all shared bank accounts with my name and Marcus's name on them, Maya said firmly. Done, said Blake without hesitation. Shared accounts. Easy. I can arrange that. Most of the money is yours anyway, right? Not most, sir. All of it. Marcus never put a penny in there. I understand, said Mr. Blake. Second, Maya continued, staring out the window. I want you to stop all automatic transfers from all my personal accounts. Especially to accounts belonging to Marcus, Miss Gloria, and Derek, his brother. I want them stopped right this second. Easy. I'll process it immediately. Maya breathed. This is the most important part. Third, please check the apartment Marcus and I live in on Riverside Avenue. It's 100% in my name, correct? Pure inheritance from my father, not shared marriage property. Pause happened. Maybe Mr. Blake was checking information on his computer. Correct, Maya. The deed is only in your name, Maya, daughter of Thomas. You got it before the marriage. Your husband has 0 rights to that property. Perfect, Maya said quietly. I want you to sell it immediately. Starting today, list it for sale. Contact real estate agents. I want that apartment sold. This time Mr. Blake stayed quiet longer. Maya, this is a very big decision. Are you absolutely sure? I'm completely sure, sir, Maya interrupted. I've sheltered a family of leeches too long in the home my father left me. It's time to clean house. Maya couldn't see it, but in his fancy office Mr. Blake smiled. A satisfied smile. He had known Maya a long time. He knew how good this girl was, and had suspected for a while how Marcus's family was using her. I've been waiting for this call for a long time, Miss Maya, Mr. Blake said. His voice returned to professional but with support underneath. I suspected this day would come. Your father would be so proud you're finally standing up for yourself. Anything else? Maya went silent for a moment. Anything else? A car Marcus drives. Whose name is on that car? You're right. That's also in your name. You pay the monthly car payment automatically from your account. Excellent. Please call the car financing company. With a stop on automatic payments and a power of attorney from me, that car can be taken back by the repo company in 2 days. Do it, sir, Maya said firmly. Do everything. I'll email you the power of attorney document to sign digitally. You'll have it in 5 minutes, said Mr. Blake. Take care of your mother, Maya. Let me handle this trash. The call ended. Maya felt her shoulders that had been tense for years finally relax a little. She walked back to the waiting area and looked at her phone. The screen was filled with notifications. Dozens of unread messages. Dozens of missed calls. They must be so confused now. But they didn't know anything yet. This was just the very beginning. She remembered Marcus's text. $15,000 for a vacation. Maya laughed quietly. Yes, she did have $15,000 in her savings account. Her emergency fund. And she had a much better plan for that money. The $15,000 was Maya's safety net. It came from her hard work, sweat, and countless late nights at the office. She kept it in a separate investment account. She never touched it. She always told herself it was for an emergency, for unexpected hospital bills, for a disaster. She never expected the disaster would be her own family's greed. And now Marcus's shameless demand felt like a slap that woke her up. This was an emergency. An emergency to save her mind, her dignity, and her future. After talking with Mr. Blake, Maya felt sharp and focused again. She no longer felt like a trapped victim. She was a chess player who just moved her piece into attack position. She sat back down next to her mother's hospital bed. Mama Rose was still asleep with medicine keeping her calm. Her breathing was steady, helped by a machine. Holding her mother's hand, warm but weak, Maya felt strength flowing into her. She picked up her phone, not to check the flood of angry messages from Marcus's family, but to do research. She needed to be certain. She opened her chat history with Derek. She scrolled past dozens of photos of food truck designs and fancy equipment Derek had sent asking for budget approval. Finally she found it. A PDF file with a proposal from a business consultant called Fresh Start Business Solutions. There was also the phone number of the person in charge. Maya took a deep breath and called that number. Good morning, Fresh Start Business Solutions. This is Angela speaking. A cheerful voice greeted. Good morning, Angela. This is Maya. I'm Derek's sister-in-law. I've been handling the business funding so far. The cheerfulness in Angela's voice dimmed a little, replaced by professional caution. Oh, Miss Maya. Finally you call. I've been trying to contact Derek and Miss Gloria since yesterday but they don't answer. I'm so sorry, ma'am. This is very urgent. Urgent? Why? Maya asked, pretending not to know. You see, ma'am, the deposit for the business loan guarantee was due yesterday. The amount is $15,000. We gave them a deadline until today at noon, but if payment doesn't arrive, unfortunately the loan approval for that business will be cancelled and given to another client on our waiting list. This affects our reputation with the bank. Exactly $15,000. The same number. They were panicking and demanding money because they were cornered by the deadline. I understand, Angela, Maya said calmly. Thank you so much for telling me. So will the transfer come today, ma'am? I'll wait until noon, Angela urged. I'll handle it, Maya replied without promising. But please don't tell Derek or Miss Gloria that I called. Let this be between us. Maya hung up. So the $15,000 was the hook they were trying to stick in her to cover their debts. She could just leave it alone. Let Derek's business be cancelled, the loan denied, and let them be embarrassed. But that felt too easy. It would only give them temporary shame. She wanted to teach them a lesson they would remember forever. A lesson about what really matters. She remembered something. She opened her laptop that she always carried in her work bag. She opened an old folder with emails. There was an email from her mother about 2 years ago. Her mother had sent her a website link. My baby, look at this. The Kids Fighting Cancer Foundation, her mother had written. They help pay medical bills for children with cancer from poor families. How beautiful. If I ever have extra money, I want to help them. Those children's prayers surely reach heaven. Her mother never had extra money because every bit of help Maya wanted to give her mother always got diverted into the apparently endless pockets of Miss Gloria and Marcus. Maya's eyes felt hot with tears. Her mother, even when she had so little, thought of others. While Miss Gloria, swimming in luxury, only thought of herself. Maya opened the foundation's website. The donation page was clear and simple. There were photos of young children with no hair from chemotherapy, but with brave smiles on their faces. Maya's heart felt moved. This was it. This was the answer to her prayers. This was the perfect way to use the $15,000. She didn't hesitate even 1 second. She opened her bank app, went to her investment savings account, and made a withdrawal from the emergency fund. The process happened instantly. Then she returned to the donation page. She entered the amount. $15,000. In the donor name box, she didn't write her own name. She typed with steady fingers, "Donation in honor of Mama Rose's recovery." She wanted every prayer from that foundation, from those brave children, to flow directly to her mother lying in the ICU. She clicked Confirm Transfer. Transaction successful. An email with the official receipt came to her inbox immediately. Maya took a screenshot of the receipt. A simple image showing the bank logo, transfer amount, and recipient name. Kids Fighting Cancer Foundation. This was her weapon. Not a bomb that explodes loudly, but a scalpel that cuts right into the heart of their arrogance. She opened the family group chat. She ignored the dozens of furious private messages waiting. She went directly to Marcus's family group chat. The group with all of Marcus's loud aunts, uncles, and cousins. The group where Miss Gloria always bragged about how successful Marcus was, and how generous her daughter-in-law Maya was. The same group where Derek's food truck business was discussed constantly. Maya took a breath. She didn't write a single word. No explanation. No mean words back. She simply selected the screenshot of the $15,000 donation receipt, then pressed the send button. Message sent. 1 gray check mark appeared. Then in seconds it turned into 2 blue check marks. Read. Someone must be online. Maybe Miss Gloria herself or Derek, who were waiting desperately for news of Maya's transfer, must have opened the message thinking it was proof of payment for their business consultant. Maya could imagine their confusion. They asked for $15,000 for a business and a spa vacation. Instead they got a receipt for $15,000 for charity. Maya put her phone on the table face down. She turned off her mobile data completely. Enough for today. Enough. She went back to holding her mother's hand. "Mama," she whispered softly. "Maya donated money in your name. Get better soon. The children are praying for you." She felt peace. Deep, real peace. She didn't know and didn't care that out there in that group chat, a silent bomb had just exploded. The next morning the sun came out bright and warm, as if laughing at the chaos about to happen. In a fancy jewelry store downtown, Miss Gloria and Derek were feeling very good and happy. They had already forgotten the annoyance from 3 days ago. The $20 message and Maya's mean response were just considered a tantrum from a stressed wife. They were absolutely sure that under pressure and family honor threats, Maya would give in. The $15,000 must have arrived in Miss Gloria's account that morning. "Look, Mama, this watch," Derek said, spinning around in front of a big mirror. He was wearing a shiny silver watch that cost thousands of dollars alone. "Everyone is going to be so jealous." "Of course, baby," replied Miss Gloria while sipping the sparkling water the store worker had given her. She looked at her fancy watch. 9:30 in the morning. She had already planned her whole day. After paying the business deposit, she would immediately book her luxury spa vacation in California. She couldn't wait. "All right, Miss Gloria and Derek," said the jeweler, smiling. "The watch fits perfectly, so we're finalizing this one, correct? According to our agreement, we need 50% payment today to hold it for you." "Sure, easy," said Miss Gloria proudly. She pulled out her gold credit card. "Please process it." Somewhere else in his air-conditioned office, Marcus sat at his desk. He wasn't focused on his computer work at all. He felt restless. He hadn't been able to contact Maya in 3 days. Her phone wasn't working. Marcus tried to calm himself down. Maya was just being emotional. But Maya had never acted like this before. However, his worry was beaten by his faith in his mother. His mother always said Maya was crazy about him. There's no way Maya would dare do anything serious. The money must have been transferred. He just needed to wait for news from his mother. Back at the jewelry store, the worker returned with a hesitant look on his face. "I'm so sorry, ma'am. The card was declined." Miss Gloria's smile froze on her face. "Declined? Impossible. Try it again. Your machine must be broken." The worker tried again. "Declined again, ma'am. Insufficient funds." Miss Gloria's face turned bright red with anger. "Limit? This card has a limit of tens of thousands of dollars. And I know Maya pays the bill always on time. Impossible. Give it here." She snapped angrily. She tried another card. Her debit card. "Insufficient funds, ma'am." Cold sweat started appearing on Miss Gloria's forehead. Something was very wrong. She rushed to call Marcus. "Marcus, my cards are being declined. Check your mother's bank account right now. Did Maya's money come in?" Marcus, hearing the panic in his mother's voice, panicked too. "Wait, Mama." He rushed to open his mobile banking app on his phone. First he checked his own account. He froze completely. His balance was only $26.15. Maya should have transferred his monthly allowance of $800 yesterday. It hadn't come in. Then he tried to check his mother's account, which was linked to his phone too. He entered the password. The screen lit up showing the balance. $8.73. The $15,000 wasn't there. The monthly $2,000 that usually came on the first wasn't there either. The account was bone dry. "Marcus, what's happening?" yelled Miss Gloria into the phone so loud several customers in the jewelry store turned to look. "Nothing came in, Mama," Marcus replied with a shaking voice. "Nothing came in at all." "What?" shrieked Miss Gloria. "That girl, your wife, she actually stopped everything. How dare she do this to us?" In his office, Marcus felt the air-conditioned room suddenly get hot. His heart pounded hard in his chest. This wasn't just anger. This was disaster. He tried calling Maya again. "The number you have dialed is not available." He tried WhatsApp. One check mark. He was blocked. No, maybe she just has her internet off. But the result was the same. Maya had disappeared. In the jewelry store, the atmosphere turned humiliating. "I'm so sorry, Miss Gloria," said the jeweler. Her voice was now cold and flat. "If payment cannot be completed today, we cannot continue with this sale." Derek, still wearing the expensive watch, began to cry. "Mama, what are we going to do? This is so embarrassing, Mama. Everyone is watching us." "Shut up," snapped Miss Gloria hysterically. She was losing her mind. She had to get that money somehow. She called Marcus back. "Call your wife right now. Drag her here if you have to. Tell her to transfer now or you'll divorce her." The word divorce echoed in Marcus's ears. He was in total panic. He couldn't divorce Maya. Divorcing Maya meant divorcing his money source, his apartment, his car, his whole lifestyle. He had to fix this somehow. Just at that exact moment, Derek's phone rang loudly. On the screen appeared the name Angela, Fresh Start Business Solutions. Derek's face went completely pale. This must be about the $15,000 deposit for the business loan. "Hello, Angela," he answered with a trembling voice. Angela's voice on the other end was no longer cheerful. It was firm, professional, and final. "Good afternoon, Derek. It's 12:05 in the afternoon. I'm calling to confirm that payment of the $15,000 deposit has not been received." "Yes, I'm so sorry, Angela. It's just that there's been a little—" Angela interrupted him sharply. "It's not necessary, Derek. I'm calling only to inform you officially. According to our agreement, since the payment deadline has passed, the business loan approval under Derek's name is officially cancelled." "Cancelled?" shrieked Derek. His eyes went huge with shock. "Correct," Angela continued. "And one more thing. We just received a call from Miss Maya's legal representative, Mr. Blake. He officially informed us that Miss Maya withdraws all her financial backing for this business venture. So everything is completely clear now." Derek couldn't breathe. Angela kept going. "Oh, and the loan slot for your date has already been taken by another client on our waiting list. They just paid in full 7 minutes ago. Good afternoon." The phone fell from Derek's hand, landing on the thick carpet of the jewelry store without making a sound. But for Miss Gloria and Derek, that silent drop was like a bomb explosion destroying everything. The business is cancelled. Derek's scream was the first thing to break the awful silence in the jewelry store. Not a soft cry but a sharp shriek full of rage and shame. Cancelled. Everything cancelled. All because of Maya. Miss Gloria, whose face was already purple with anger, staggered backward. She grabbed the jewelry counter to avoid falling down. "What do you mean cancelled?" she hissed through clenched teeth. Derek, with tears ruining his face, shouted at his mother. "They just called Mama. Everything is cancelled. Maya's lawyer called them. She took back all her money. We're ruined, Mama. Completely ruined." The store workers and some other customers who were choosing rings were now looking at them with a mixture of surprise and amusement. This scene was too entertaining to miss. The jeweler, owner of the store, signaled the security guard with her hand. "I'm so sorry, Miss Gloria and Derek," she said with an icy tone. "I think your business here is finished. Please remove the watch, Derek, and solve your problem somewhere else. Not here." Kicked out. They were literally kicked out of the jewelry store. This was the height of humiliation for Miss Gloria, a woman who always felt like royalty wherever she went. With heavy, embarrassed steps, Derek went into the changing room and took off the watch, slamming it on the counter. Miss Gloria trembled with anger, shame, and panic all mixed together. While the drama in the jewelry store was just starting, another drama was happening in the digital world. The Kids Fighting Cancer Foundation, the organization Maya donated to, had a policy of transparency about all large donations. Exactly at 11:30 that morning, their official social media account, which had tens of thousands of followers, posted a brand new update. It wasn't a simple thank you post. It was a beautifully designed digital poster with images of several children with cancer smiling, with large colorful letters in the middle. "A new hope has arrived. Prayer answered. A blessing received." Below the text it said, "The entire family of the Kids Fighting Cancer Foundation wishes to express our deepest gratitude for the extraordinary donation we received today. A total of $15,000 has been donated by a faithful woman who dedicated this donation to the recovery of her mother. Thank you to the donor in honor of Mama Rose's recovery. This donation will completely cover chemotherapy treatment and living expenses for 12 of our little warriors against cancer for the next 6 months. All of us here, along with the children and their families, pray that Mama Rose is healed quickly from her illness and given complete health. Amen." The post exploded immediately. Hundreds of likes and comments flooded in within just minutes. Many people typed amen to the prayer. And of course the post appeared on the social media feeds of Miss Gloria's socialite friends. They all followed each other and also followed several large charity foundation accounts to maintain their perfect image. At the same time, Marcus's family WhatsApp group, which had been silent after Maya's screenshot, vibrated again with activity. Marcus's aunt was the first to notice. She forwarded the foundation's post to the group. "Oh my goodness, how beautiful and noble," the aunt wrote. "Is this Maya's Mama Rose who was sick?" Another cousin of Marcus commented immediately. "Wow, $15,000. Exactly the same amount that was in Maya's screenshot yesterday. So she really did donate it all." Marcus's uncle commented next. "Your daughter-in-law is incredible, Gloria. Right when her husband asks for money for business, she chooses charity in her sick mother's name. What a devoted wife and daughter. Truly blessed." Miss Gloria's phone, which she had just turned back on after leaving the jewelry store with a broken heart, was flooded by these notifications. She opened the WhatsApp group with shaking hands. Her eyes grew wide as she read the incoming comments. The praise for Maya felt like hot fire slaps across her face. Then private messages started coming in from her friends at the country club. "Gloria, I saw the foundation's post. $15,000. My hat is off to your daughter-in-law. What an angel. But wait, I heard from people at the jewelry store that Derek's business got cancelled. How is that possible? You didn't have money but Maya used it for charity. What's the real story here?" Another message arrived. "Miss Gloria, is it true Derek's business got canceled because you couldn't pay? But how come your daughter-in-law donated $15,000 to charity? Something doesn't add up here. Their ruin had become public entertainment. Not only did they not get the money, not only did they lose the dream business, now in everyone's eyes they looked like a greedy family trying to squeeze their generous daughter-in-law while her mother was dying. And they had failed miserably. Miss Gloria's image, built over many years as a respected society woman, shattered in a single afternoon. Marcus in his office also saw the post. He was tagged by several co-workers in the comments. "Oh Marcus, your wife donated $15,000. What a boss lady. Congratulations, man. Hope your mother-in-law gets well soon. You're so lucky to have her." Marcus couldn't answer any of them. He felt sick to his stomach. He looked like a complete fool. The anger, shame, and panic were reaching their absolute peak now. Miss Gloria, Derek, and Marcus met in the jewelry store parking lot. All three faces were dark and full of hate. "This cannot stand," hissed Miss Gloria with red eyes full of rage. "That girl has humiliated us completely. We have to see her. We have to make her pay for all of this." "That's right," nodded Marcus. His ego as a husband and a man was totally destroyed. He no longer cared about the money. He cared about his dignity, which had been trampled into the dirt. "Let's go to the hospital right now. We'll force her to fix this." "I'm coming too," yelled Derek. "I'm going to tell her exactly what I think of her." With blind rage burning in their chests, the three of them got into Marcus's car. The car whose monthly payment Maya made. They drove at top speed toward the hospital. They didn't know this would be their very last trip in that car. They arrived at the hospital lobby like a violent storm, walking fast, angry faces, not caring about people's stares. They went straight to the reception desk at the front. "We want to see Maya." "What room is her mother in?" snapped Marcus rudely. The receptionist looked startled by his tone. "Excuse me, sir. What's the patient's name, please?" "Rose." "Mama Rose," said Miss Gloria, impatiently tapping her fingernails on the counter. The receptionist typed on her computer, then looked up. Her expression turned professional and serious. "I'm sorry, ma'am and sir. The patient named Mama Rose is in the ICU." "But we're going to the ICU," interrupted Marcus, walking straight toward the elevator without permission. "Wait, sir." Two large hospital security guards suddenly stepped in front of them, blocking the path with crossed arms. "What is this?" asked Marcus, his voice rising with anger. The taller guard looked at them calmly but very firmly. "Excuse me, sir and ma'am. By special request of Miss Maya, the person responsible for the patient, we have received specific instructions. Mr. Marcus, Miss Gloria, and Derek are specifically prohibited from visiting the patient or meeting with Miss Maya anywhere in this hospital." The denial felt like a concrete wall appearing suddenly in front of them. Marcus, Miss Gloria, and Derek stood frozen in the hospital lobby, which suddenly felt very crowded. The stares of some visitors and curious nurses felt like knives stabbing them. The two large guards stood completely still. Their faces were professional but left absolutely no room for negotiation. "You can't do this to us." Marcus stepped forward, trying to use what was left of his authority. "I'm her husband. Maya is my wife. Have rights." The taller guard tilted his head slightly. "I'm sorry, sir. Your rights as a husband do not override the instructions of the patient's legal guardian. Miss Maya specifically mentioned your name, this lady's name, and this young man's name," he said, pointing to them one by one. "The order is crystal clear. Unwanted guests with potential to disturb the patient's peace and recovery." Every word felt like a hard slap across the face. "Disturb the peace," hissed Miss Gloria, her face turning red as a tomato. "We're her family. She's the one causing all the chaos and problems." The second guard stepped forward, his voice lower but more threatening. "I strongly suggest the lady and gentleman leave this lobby immediately. If you cause any disturbance here, we'll be forced to call additional security and possibly the police." Miss Gloria's dignity, already shattered, was now being trampled into dust. Kicked out of the jewelry store and now kicked out of the hospital. Derek, who had been standing motionless, began to cry softly. "Enough, Mama. Let's just go." This is too humiliating, he whispered, pulling on his mother's expensive sleeve. Marcus stared toward the ICU elevator as if his eyes could burn through the floors and reach Maya. There was hate there, but also genuine fear. He had just realized exactly how powerful Maya actually was. How dependent he had been on the woman he had underestimated and used all this time. With heavy steps full of shame, the three turned around. They walked out of the air-conditioned lobby back into the hot parking lot. The drive back in the car, Maya's car, felt silent and suffocating. Nobody spoke a word. Miss Gloria looked out the window with a blank, dead stare, her jaw clenched tight. Derek cried hysterically in the back seat. Marcus gripped the steering wheel so hard his knuckles turned bone white. They only had one destination: back home to their apartment on Riverside Avenue. They had to talk and strategize. They had to think of some way to persuade, threaten, or force Maya to return everything back to normal. When the car turned into their fancy residential complex, Marcus started to feel a tiny bit calmer. The apartment was his fortress. There he was king of his castle. But that tiny calm shattered immediately. When the car got close to their apartment building, Marcus slammed on the brakes hard. There was an unfamiliar black car parked right in front of their door. And two men in dark formal suits were standing in front of the main entrance gate. One of them was sticking something big and white on the gate. "Who are those people?" hissed Miss Gloria. Her confusion turned immediately into suspicion and fear. Marcus didn't answer. He got out of the car quickly, followed by Miss Gloria and Derek practically running. They approached the men. "Excuse me, whose apartment is this?" asked Marcus with an aggressive, threatening tone, trying to intimidate them. The man in the suit turned around calmly. "Are you Mr. Marcus?" he asked, looking at a clipboard in his hand. "Yes, that's me. What's going on here?" "We're from the law firm Blake & Associates," said the man, handing a thick brown envelope to Marcus. "This is a formal legal warning letter for you, Miss Gloria and Derek. And this," he pointed to the large official paper he had just stuck on the gate, "is an official eviction notice." Marcus tore open the envelope roughly. His hands shook badly as he read the contents. The letter was written in stiff legal language, but the meaning was perfectly clear. The apartment at 245 Riverside Avenue is the absolute property of Miss Maya, daughter of Thomas. Mr. Marcus, Miss Gloria, and Derek no longer have permission to occupy said property. This property has been officially registered for sale through a licensed real estate agent. You are given a period of 14 days from the date of this letter to vacate the apartment and return all keys. Any attempt to damage the property or refusal to vacate will be prosecuted both civilly and criminally. Marcus read the last sentence over and over and over. Vacate the apartment. 14 days. Criminal prosecution. "So this is my home." "Impossible. This is my apartment," Marcus shouted, crumpling the letter in his fist. "I'm her husband." "I'm so sorry, sir," said the man, completely unmoved. "The property deed is in Miss Maya's name alone, obtained prior to the marriage. It's her exclusive property under the law. We're only doing our legal duty here." Beside him, Miss Gloria was reading the large letters on the paper stuck to the gate. The text was printed in bold capital letters. "This property is for sale under legal supervision. No trespassing without authorization. Contact Attorney Blake," with his phone number printed below. "No, this can't be happening," Miss Gloria staggered. She grabbed the iron gate pillar to keep from falling. Neighbors taking evening walks started looking and pointing. Some even stopped walking and whispered to each other excitedly. "Maya!" screamed Miss Gloria, completely losing control. "Maya has lost her mind. She's kicking us out onto the street." Marcus was still frozen, holding the crumpled warning letter. His brain couldn't process this new reality. He had just lost his home. That's when a loud diesel engine noise was heard approaching from the end of the street. A large yellow tow truck slowed down and stopped right behind Marcus's parked car. Behind it, two motorcycles ridden by men in leather jackets stopped. "Repo men." A hard-faced man climbed out of the tow truck. He walked straight toward Marcus. Excuse me, sir. Is this the blue sedan with license plate ending in 4729? Marcus, still totally confused, just nodded yes silently. The man showed an official repossession order document. We're from the auto financing company. The owner has officially stopped payment on the notes for this vehicle in the name of Miss Maya. According to our contract, we've been ordered to seize this unit immediately. Please hand over the keys right now, sir. Marcus looked at the legal paper, then at his car, then at the hard-faced man. He suddenly realized, course, this car, the car he always took pride in showing off to his friends, the car he used to drive his mother shopping and to lunch, wasn't his at all. It was Maya's. Everything was Maya's. Wait, said Marcus in complete panic. This is a big misunderstanding. Can pay. I'll pay right now. Sorry, sir. The order is to seize the vehicle, not to collect payment. You have the keys or not? The man was losing patience. This is my car. Get away from it, shouted Marcus. The man signaled his two friends on the motorcycles. They got off. Both were very large and muscular. The atmosphere became tense and dangerous. Are you going to hand over the keys the easy way, or will we take them by force? Said the repo man with a completely flat, emotionless tone. Derek screamed in fear like a little child. Miss Gloria stood frozen, her face pale as a ghost. Marcus trembled from head to toe. He looked left at the man from the law firm. He looked right at the repo men. In front of him on his gate was a for sale sign. They were totally cornered. They had lost absolutely everything. With trembling hands, Marcus fumbled in his pocket. He threw the car keys hard on the ground. Take them, he hissed. His voice broke from pure rage and shame. The repo man picked up the keys calmly. Thank you for your cooperation, sir. He got in the car, started the engine, and drove it smoothly up onto the tow truck bed. The man from the law firm nodded politely. Our work here is finished. Good afternoon to you all. He got into his black car and drove away. The tow truck started its loud engine and drove away slowly down the street, taking Marcus's car with it. Marcus, Miss Gloria, and Derek now stood on the sidewalk in front of the apartment that was no longer theirs. Without a car, without money, and worst of all, with dozens of pairs of eyes from neighbors watching their complete afternoon meltdown. They had lost everything in less than 4 hours. The sun started to set, painting a beautiful golden-orange color across the sky. But for Marcus, Miss Gloria, and Derek, that beautiful light felt like pure mockery. They were still standing on the sidewalk in front of the apartment that now felt completely foreign. The gate was locked tight and the for sale sign seemed to laugh at them. Some neighbors who before only whispered now dared to come outside, pretending to water plants or wash their cars, when clearly they were just watching the drama. Get inside the apartment, hissed Marcus. He pushed hard on the gate, but it was locked solid. Course. He remembered Maya must have told Mr. Blake to change the locks or activate the digital security system that only Maya could access with her code. So what do we do now? Yelled Derek hysterically. Are we going to sleep on the street tonight? Marcus, do something. You're her husband. Shut up, snapped Marcus, venting all his frustration on his brother. Do you think this is easy? Do you think I can just fix this? Miss Gloria, who had been silent until now, started moving. Her pale face was now filled with cold rage. We can't stay standing here. It's too humiliating, she said in a low, dangerous voice. Let's go somewhere else. Go where? Asked Marcus, totally confused. Have no car. We have no money for a taxi. Call someone, said Miss Gloria firmly. Call relatives. Call Uncle Raymond. Call your cousin. Ask them to come pick us up immediately. Marcus hesitated. Since he successfully married Maya and got access to her money, his family had kept their distance from other relatives. Miss Gloria always acted superior to everyone, but now he had absolutely no choice. He took out his phone, opened his contacts, and called his uncle. The call was answered after several rings. Hello, Marcus. Hello, Uncle Raymond. Sorry to bother you. Could you please? Oh yes, Marcus, interrupted the uncle. I was just about to message you. I saw that foundation post online. That's wild, man. Your wife Maya is absolutely amazing. $15,000 donated in her mother's name. And I heard in the family group chat that you guys needed money for Derek's business. Maya is truly a devoted wife and daughter. Prioritizes her sick mother and charity over everything. Your very blessed brother. Congratulations. Marcus stood completely silent. The news had spread faster than wildfire. His uncle was congratulating him, but it felt like getting punched in the stomach repeatedly. Marcus, hello. Why are you quiet? Yes, uncle. Look, we're having a small problem. We're kind of stranded. Could you please? Oh, sorry, Marcus, his uncle interrupted again. I'm actually out of town on a business trip. Another time, okay? Send my very best regards to Maya. Tell her I'm extremely proud of her. She's a credit to our family. Gotta run. Blick. The call ended abruptly. Marcus tried calling his cousin Lisa. The response was exactly the same. Well, Marcus, I'm super busy right now. I'm at my book club meeting. You and Maya, right? Your wife is the main topic of conversation here. Everyone thinks she's beautiful, successful, and faithful. You better take really good care of her. He's special. Look later, bye. Nobody wanted to help them. The news of the $15,000 charity donation had transformed Maya into an absolute angel in the eyes of the extended family and friends. And indirectly it turned them, Marcus, Miss Gloria, and Derek, into the greedy villains. Who would want to help parasites who just got publicly humiliated by their host? Derek, seeing the total despair on his brother's face, had one more idea. His girlfriend Jasmine. Of course, Jasmine would help him. She was his princess. With shaking hands, Derek called Jasmine. Hello, baby. Where are you? I need your help desperately, he said, already crying. I've been kicked out of my apartment by my sister-in-law Maya. The business, everything. Jasmine's voice on the other end sounded ice cold. Very cold and distant. I know, Derek. I already heard everything. My mother just got off the phone with someone from that business company. They're charging my family a cancellation penalty of $3,000 because we co-signed some papers as backup guarantors. Derek froze solid. What? But that's Maya's fault. Not, but that's our problem now, Derek. Your sister-in-law Maya has completely washed her hands of everything. Her lawyer made that very clear. And now my family's good name and money are at risk. My mother told me to find you and get answers. Where are you right now? It wasn't the tone of love Derek had expected. It was a tone full of blame and anger. But Derek, drowning in panic, still had hope. Yes, baby. I'm sending you my location right now. Please come get us. The three waited at the apartment complex's empty guard booth. 30 long minutes later, a luxury car pulled up fast. It wasn't just Jasmine alone. Jasmine got out with her mother, a stern-looking woman wearing too much jewelry and makeup. Derek, said Jasmine's mother very bluntly. I want to talk to you. They stood on the sidewalk under a street lamp. Jasmine's mother looked at Miss Gloria with pure disgust and contempt. So this is you, Miss Gloria. The family that calls themselves high class turns out to be living completely off your daughter-in-law's money. Watch your mouth, hissed Miss Gloria, though her voice sounded weak and defeated. I don't have to watch anything, snapped Jasmine's mother. You've humiliated my entire family. You ordered an expensive business venture without having a single dollar. And now they're chasing us for a cancellation penalty of $3,000 that we have to pay. Derek looked at Jasmine with pleading, desperate eyes. Jasmine, please, baby. Help us. We can work this out. Jasmine looked away from him. She couldn't even meet his eyes. I'm sorry, Derek, she said very quietly. My mother is right about this. I can't be with someone from a family of con artists. Con artists? Shrieked Derek. His voice cracked. Yes, con artists, replied Jasmine's mother firmly. You pretend to be wealthy, but you're completely broke. This relationship is over. Finished. And listen very carefully. We're not paying your debts. We'll be suing you legally for that $3,000. Here's the invoice. Enjoy dealing with it. She threw a folded paper at Derek's chest. It hit him and fell to the ground. Jasmine and her mother got back into their luxury car and drove away fast, leaving Derek collapsed on the sidewalk holding the invoice in his shaking hands. Marcus and Miss Gloria could only stand there watching helplessly. They had hit absolute rock bottom. Kicked out of their home. No car. No money. No relatives willing to help. And now being chased by a $3,000 debt. That terrible night they used the little cash left in Marcus's wallet. Maya's $20 which he still had, plus some small bills and coins they found in their pockets. Just barely enough to take a ride-share taxi to the most humiliating place Marcus could possibly imagine. A tiny rental room in a narrow dirty alley on the very edge of the city. A place he had rented when he was a broke struggling student years ago, before meeting Maya. The place was cramped, stuffy, and smelled strongly of sewage and mold. There was only one small room, a filthy bathroom, and a kitchen the size of a closet. This was their new reality. Their new life. The next morning Marcus, with whatever remained of his dignity, tried to go to his office job. He took a crowded public bus. He arrived at the shiny lobby of his fancy office building. When he swiped his access card at the security turnstile, it didn't move. Red light flashed. Access denied. Confused and embarrassed, he called the Human Resources Department. Mr. Marcus, oh yes. I'm sorry, sir. Due to company restructuring and performance reviews, we've been forced to terminate your employment. Effective immediately as of today. Your termination letter will be sent to your email address shortly. Restructuring. Marcus knew it was a complete lie. This company was a long-time partner of Maya's family business. A single phone call from Maya or her lawyer was more than enough to destroy him professionally. He returned to the rental room in the dirty alley on foot, walking in the hot midday sun. Miss Gloria and Derek were sitting on the floor staring blankly into space. How did it go? Asked Miss Gloria without even looking at him. Marcus just shook his head and threw himself down on the thin stained mattress on the floor. Finished. I'm finished. Miss Gloria refused to give up. She didn't want to live like this. There was still one hope left. Her jewelry collection. All the gold necklaces, diamond rings, and bracelets she had collected over years. She opened her designer handbag and took them all out carefully. We still have these valuable pieces. They can be sold for good money, she said with false confidence. She left the alley looking for the nearest pawnshop in the area. She entered a dingy shop with whatever remained of her arrogance. Sir, I want to pawn these items, she said, placing a large diamond necklace on the dirty counter. The shop owner, a tired-looking man, took it and examined it closely. He scraped it on a testing stone and dropped some chemical liquid on it. Then he laughed quietly under his breath. Why are you laughing at me? Asked Miss Gloria, deeply offended. The man looked at her with pure amusement in his eyes. Ma'am, this is completely fake. Good quality imitation, yes, but totally fake. Glass and cubic zirconia, not real diamond. Fake, Miss Gloria repeated in total disbelief. The man picked up her gold bracelet next. This one too. Only gold plating on the outside. Inside it's cheap brass metal. He systematically checked all of Miss Gloria's jewelry pieces one by one. Nothing is real, ma'am. Everything you have here is fake costume jewelry. Miss Gloria stood frozen in shock. She suddenly remembered that most of this jewelry had been bought by Marcus over the years. Bought with Maya's money, obviously. Marcus, or maybe even Maya, had been giving her fake worthless things all this time. All her pride, all her showing off to friends, had been built on lies. The shop owner looked at her with pity mixed with amusement. If you sell these by weight at the flea market, the absolute most you'll get is maybe $35, ma'am. That's being generous. Miss Gloria felt her legs go completely weak. She was being mocked and pitted by the owner of a run-down pawn shop in a bad neighborhood alley. This was karma. This was the end of absolutely everything. 1 week had slowly passed since the storm began. 1 week since Maya froze accounts, stopped all transfers, and sent the donation receipt that shook her husband's family to its core. Inside the ICU room, time seemed to run differently for Maya. She no longer thought about them at all. Her phone was now completely clean. She had changed her number, giving it only to Mr. Blake and a few close relatives of her mother. Her concentration and energy were 100% focused on the woman lying in the hospital bed. Every single morning she read from the Book of Psalms next to her mother's ear. Every afternoon she told her good things and happy memories, as if her mother could hear everything. She told her all about the $15,000 donation. "Mama," she whispered one quiet afternoon while gently wiping her mother's thin arm with a warm cloth. "Maya donated that money in your name to the Kids Fighting Cancer Foundation, just like you always wanted to do. There are 12 children who can get their cancer treatment now thanks to you. Everyone there is praying for you, Mama. They all say get well soon, Mama Rose. You have to wake up. You have to hear all their beautiful prayers for you." She said it over and over every single day like a powerful mantra. She was planting hope and faith, not only for her mother but also deep within herself. And that morning a true miracle happened. While Maya was softly reading her prayers out loud, she suddenly felt the grip of her hand being squeezed back. Weak but definitely there. Maya stopped reading immediately. Her eyes fixed intensely on her mother's fingers, which were moving very slowly. Then Mama Rose's eyelids began to flutter. Very slowly, very gently, those eyes opened. Her gaze was blurry at first, searching hard to focus on something. "Mama," Maya's voice trembled with overwhelming emotion. Mama Rose's eyes finally settled and focused on her daughter's tear-streaked face. She couldn't speak because of the breathing tube still in her throat. But a single tear slid slowly from the corner of her eye down her cheek. Maya broke down weeping. Not tears of pain and fear like the past week, but tears of pure joy and relief that burst out uncontrollably. She immediately pressed the emergency nurse call button hard. The doctor on duty and several nurses rushed into the room within seconds. They checked all the monitors, examined her pupils, tested her responses. The head doctor treating Mama Rose arrived shortly after. After a thorough examination, he stepped out of the room and met Maya with a huge smile of relief on his face. "This is truly a miracle, Miss Maya," said the doctor warmly. "Honestly, we were very pessimistic about her chances. But somehow about 6 days ago, her vital signs improved dramatically. Her brain activity increased significantly. Her body made the decision to fight back. And today she has fully woken up. Miss Rose's fighting spirit is absolutely extraordinary." Maya smiled behind her veil of happy tears. "It's because of all the prayers, doctor. The children's prayers," she whispered with absolute certainty. Mama Rose's recovery progressed faster than anyone expected. Within just a few days they successfully removed the breathing tube. She was transferred from ICU to a comfortable private room. Maya took care of her mother so diligently, carefully feeding her soft porridge, helping her learn to speak clearly again, patiently helping her walk a few steps. She told her mother many things, except about Marcus's terrible betrayal. She only said simply, "Mama, Maya is legally separating from Marcus. Just doesn't work anymore. We're not right for each other. Please pray for Maya." Mama Rose, still quite weak but with sharp knowing eyes, just nodded slowly and gently stroked her daughter's hair. She understood much more than Maya realized. While carefully caring for her mother, Maya also took care of her own freedom. Mr. Blake came to visit at the hospital with a thick, important folder. "Everything is perfectly in order, Miss Maya," he said sitting in the lobby. "The apartment already has the highest offer, well above market price. The buyers are very eager." He paused. "They're in a complete panic, ma'am. I heard from a reliable source. They're now living in a terrible rental room in an alley on the outskirts of town. Marcus was fired from his job. And finally, they're being sued by Derek's ex-girlfriend's family for that business cancellation penalty of $3,000. Maya listened to everything very calmly. There was no pity and no excessive satisfaction in her heart. Just a deep feeling of relief, as if a massive heavy burden had finally been lifted completely off her shoulders. "And this," Mr. Blake said, offering her an official paper and an expensive pen. "The divorce petition. I've already included all the legal demands. Spousal abandonment, especially during the mother's critical medical emergency. And substantial moral and material damages. Sign here, please. Maya took the pen in her hand. She briefly remembered her wedding day years ago. She remembered her sacred promise to be a loving, obedient wife. She had thought obedience meant swallowing all bitterness and abuse in silence. She had been so wrong. She took one deep breath, then stamped her signature firmly on the line, without even the slightest doubt or hesitation. It wasn't just a signature on a divorce document. It was a signature on her personal declaration of independence. 3 weeks later, Mama Rose was officially discharged from the hospital. She still needed to use a wheelchair temporarily for short distances, but her spirit and smile had fully returned. Maya pushed her mother's wheelchair happily down the hospital hallway, which now felt warm and friendly. They laughed together, planning excitedly what delicious meals they would cook when they got to their home. Maya's beautiful new house. Smaller than before but cozy and filled with love. The house that Mr. Blake had helped her buy. As they approached the busy main lobby, Maya's confident steps suddenly stopped. A man was standing there awkwardly, blocking their path forward. The man looked absolutely terrible, dirty, unwashed. His hair was long, greasy, and completely unkempt. His face was dull and lifeless with messy stubble covering his jaw. His clothes, which had once been expensive, now looked worn out and hung loose on his painfully thin body. It was Marcus. He looked at Maya with red, desperate, haunted eyes. Maya, his voice came out rough and broken. Mama Rose, sitting in the wheelchair, immediately grabbed her daughter's arm protectively. She recognized the man instantly. The man who never showed up when she was dying alone. Marcus didn't care at all about the many people staring in the crowded lobby. He didn't care about the security guards already approaching. He stumbled forward a few steps, then dropped heavily to his knees. He fell right onto the freshly mopped floor directly at Maya's feet. "Maya, please forgive me," he shouted desperately. His voice broke into pathetic sobs. "I was so wrong. I was completely blind. I'm begging you, Kez. Please forgive me." People throughout the lobby stopped what they were doing. Everyone watched the scene. "I've lost absolutely everything, Maya." He sobbed harder, trying desperately to reach the hem of Maya's dress with his dirty hands. "Got fired. The apartment was taken. The car was seized. We're living in a place that smells like sewage. My mother and Derek are suffering terribly. I'm suffering. I'm begging you, Maya. Please withdraw the divorce petition. Let's start completely over. Promise. I swear I promise to be a perfect husband. I'll wash your feet every single day. I'm begging you, Maya. Please." Maya looked down at the broken man crying desperately at her feet. The man she had once truly loved. The man she had served faithfully. The man she had given everything to. Now he looked so incredibly small, so utterly pathetic and despicable. There was no anger left in Maya's heart. No hate. Just complete emptiness. It felt exactly like she was looking at a total stranger. "Maya, honey, please." Marcus looked up at her, his face full of desperate hope. Maya looked directly into Marcus's eyes for what she knew would be the final time. She pulled her foot back slowly and calmly. Her face was peaceful, hidden beneath her neat head covering. Then she spoke. Her voice was low but perfectly clear and ice cold. It was heard clearly in the now silent lobby. "Excuse me." Marcus's face lit up immediately with hope. He thought it was the beginning of forgiveness. "Yes, Maya. Do you forgive me? Will you take me back?" Maya shook her head slowly from side to side. "No, Marcus." She leaned in just a little, looking at her legal husband for the very last time. "Excuse me, but who exactly are you? I don't know you." Those words, sharper than any knife, colder than ice, hit Marcus with full devastating force. Maya didn't wait even 1 second for any answer. She straightened up gracefully. "Let's go, Mama," she said to her mother with a soft, loving voice. "Our driver is waiting outside for us." She pushed her mother's wheelchair forward, turning smoothly to pass right by Marcus's motionless body still kneeling on the floor. She walked with her head held high, straight toward the automatic exit doors, toward the bright warm sunlight and her new life. She didn't look back even once, leaving Marcus completely alone in that lobby. A public spectacle, drowning in his own well-deserved humiliation and regret. 7 months later. Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. The atmosphere was busy and wonderfully crowded with travelers. Among the happy crowd, Maya emerged from the international arrivals gate, pushing her mother who sat comfortably in a wheelchair. Mama Rose didn't actually need it anymore, but the wheelchair was provided free by the airline for her comfort and convenience. Mama Rose looked incredibly healthy, glowing, and very happy. Her face was radiant. Her cheeks had regained their fullness. She held a beautiful bouquet of tulips she had bought in Amsterdam. Maya, for her part, looked like a completely new person. Her head covering was styled in a modern, elegant way. She wore an expensive cream-colored designer pantsuit. Her face absolutely glowed with health and confidence. Her smile was huge as she talked excitedly with her mother. "That was so wonderful, Mama. The trip to Paris and Amsterdam was absolutely incredible." "Right," said Maya while pushing the luggage cart with one hand. "Incredible, baby," replied Mama Rose, laughing joyfully. "Much more beautiful than just looking at pictures, right?" She looked at her daughter with teasing, loving eyes. Both laughed together. That European vacation was the spa trip Miss Gloria had demanded. Maya made it happen, but for her deserving mother, in a much more luxurious and meaningful way. "After we get home, Mama, you go straight to rest. Maya has to go to the office for just a little while. There's an important shareholders meeting," explained Maya. Since her divorce was finalized completely, she had taken back everything. Marcus received exactly $0. Not 1 cent. Maya took control of the investment company her father had left, which her mother had been helping manage remotely. With her sharp financial intelligence and her newfound confidence and strength, she turned the company's situation around in just 7 months. Now she was the highly respected CEO. On the other side of town, in a cramped rental room in a narrow alley, the door with peeling paint opened with a bang and an angry scream was heard. "You've been playing on that phone all morning, you useless girl. Help me sew these clothes. The customers' orders are piling up." It was Miss Gloria's sharp voice. She looked at least 10 years older now. Her hair, which used to be always perfectly styled at salons, was now thin, gray, and tied up carelessly with a rubber band. She sat on the dirty floor, surrounded by piles of fabric scraps and thread, hunched over an ancient sewing machine. Now she was a seamstress doing basic alterations for poor neighbors. They paid her $4 per piece. Derek, who looked equally terrible and disheveled, angrily threw his phone on the stained mattress. "What, Mama? I'm trying to do a live stream to sell products online, but literally nobody is watching me," he yelled back in complete frustration. "This is all your fault, Mama. Your greed. If you had been nice to Maya, if you had just been grateful, our lives wouldn't be this nightmare. How dare you blame me, you spoiled brat." Miss Gloria stood up, her bloodshot eyes blazing. "It's your fault, selfish boy, demanding that expensive business. And your useless brother Marcus. He hasn't sent a single dollar in 2 months. Who knows where that failure is now?" "He doesn't send money because he doesn't have any," shrieked Derek. "Do you think a day laborer at the docks earns anything? Enough to barely feed himself, and that's it. You're all the same. Completely useless children." Miss Gloria grabbed a deflated pillow and threw it hard at Derek's head. Both got into a loud, ugly fight, pulling hair, screaming, cursing each other, fighting over whose turn it was to eat the single last packet of instant noodles in their dirty kitchen. They were trapped in an endless cycle of poverty, blame, and mutual hatred. Somewhere else, at a muddy fish loading dock that smelled terrible, the sun had barely risen. But one man was already soaked completely in sweat. He was painfully thin, his skin badly sunburnt, his torn t-shirt sticking to his bony back. It was Marcus. He was struggling hard to push a heavy handcart loaded with sacks of rice weighing hundreds of pounds. "Hey Marcus, move faster. Don't just stand there staring into space like an idiot," shouted an angry foreman from across the dock. Marcus, completely out of breath, nodded miserably. He pushed the overloaded cart with whatever strength remained, taking it to the edge of the road where a truck would pick it up. While waiting for the truck, he stopped for just a moment to catch his breath. He wiped the rivers of sweat from his forehead with his filthy sleeve. His exhausted eyes happened to look across the busy street. There, on top of a tall building, a giant video advertising screen was broadcasting a live morning business awards show. "The award and special recognition for Young Entrepreneur of the Year goes to," the announcer's voice boomed. The camera focused on an elegant, confident woman walking up gracefully onto the stage. A woman with a beautiful cream-colored head covering, smiling radiantly, accepting a large crystal trophy to thunderous applause. It was Maya. Below the giant screen scrolled the text, "Maya, daughter of Thomas, honored for her exceptional dedication to social programs through the Kids Fighting Cancer Foundation." Marcus froze completely. His heart felt squeezed in a vice. The heavy cart in front of him felt even heavier. He stared at Maya's glowing face on that giant screen. The face he had wasted. A face that was now so bright, so genuinely happy, and so impossibly far out of his reach forever. He was a filthy manual laborer at the docks. And that woman up there was a shining star. Just at that exact moment, a gleaming black luxury car stopped at the red traffic light right next to where Marcus stood. The car's windows were tinted completely dark. Marcus couldn't see inside at all. Inside that car, Maya had just finished a phone call with her mother. "Yes, Mama. Maya is already on the way to the office now. You rest well, please. Love you." She put down her phone and casually glanced out the window. She looked toward the loading dock area, toward the crowd of workers, toward the laborers struggling in the heat. She didn't see Marcus specifically among them. She just saw an ordinary everyday scene of working people. Then she smiled softly. A smile of deep satisfaction and gratitude. Not from seeing anyone suffering, but because she felt truly grateful for her blessed life now. She had weathered the terrible storm and finally found her beautiful rainbow. The traffic light turned green. The luxury car glided smoothly and quietly over the clean asphalt, turning sharply to move away from the dirty loading dock, carrying Maya toward the gleaming downtown skyscrapers where her successful company office waited. On the cracked sidewalk, Marcus remained frozen and motionless, still staring up at the video screen even though Maya's image had disappeared. The loud honking horn of the delivery truck behind him finally woke him up from his trance. "Hey, move it. You're blocking the entire way." Marcus jumped, startled. He lowered his head deeply, trying to hide his face that was covered in sweat, dirt, and tears of crushing regret. He grabbed the worn wooden handle of his heavy handcart again, and with what little strength he had left in his broken body, he pushed forward his karma and his punishment under the hot rising morning sun. Did you enjoy this story? And which city are you listening from? Let's meet in the comments section. If you like this story, you can support me by sending a super thanks so I can keep bringing more stories just like this. Thank you so very much for your sweet support. I'm really looking forward to reading your comments on the story. On the screen you can see 2 brand new life stories that I highly recommend. There's so much more amazing content on my channel JAMAL'S Stories. Please don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next life story. With love and respect.